Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tradings. My name is Alfred, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to decide what your daily bias is and identify draws on liquidity by using yesterday's highs and lows. I will also show you how to predict what the next weekly candle will look like. This method that I am about to show you is the easiest way to predict the market's next move, and it works 80 to 90% of the time. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content and want to learn more smart money strategies and trading tricks like this. So, I'll see you right after the intro. Welcome back, traders, and let's get started with today's lesson. A simple and effective way to determine a draw on liquidity or daily bias is by analyzing the previous day's high and low. For instance, unless the market stays in a tight range without breaking either level, price will likely target the previous day's high, low, or both. I typically ask myself, is the market more likely to take out the prior high or the prior low? In an uptrend, like in this example, I'd anticipate price to go after the previous day's high. This becomes the expected draw on liquidity. Conversely, in a downtrend, I'd look for a price to reach the previous day's low. Previous highs and lows also act as liquidity zones where reversals can occur. Take this case. Price reaches the prior high but fails to break through, leading to a reversal. Similarly, when price dips below the previous low without following through, it snaps back into the range. Let's jump into the charts and walk through a few practical examples. In this case, we'll focus on how to use previous day highs and lows for our bias and for identifying potential draws on liquidity. Here we can see the market closed above the prior day's high. This suggests bullish intent, so the next logical target would be another previous high. As price continues, we again see a close above a prior high, which reinforces the bullish draw on liquidity. Another previous high becomes the next target. Then, price reaches a former high but fails to close above it and drops back into the range. At this point, my bias shifts. I now want to observe whether the previous day's low gets taken, indicating a potential short bias. We then see price reach and close below that low. The next step is to monitor whether price continues to push below further prior lows. Again, price closes below a previous low, reinforcing the downward move. Eventually, we hit a point where the price takes out a previous low but doesn't manage a close beyond it. It remains within the range. This signals potential exhaustion, and I begin looking for a move higher or a run toward a prior high. Soon after, price closes above the range, confirming bullish intent and targeting the prior day's high. However, the market then gaps above that level but re-enters the range, which I interpret as bearish. So I shift my focus to the previous day's low. Price reaches that low, but once again flows below it, suggesting weakness in bearish momentum. I now want to observe whether the previous day's low gets taken. As expected, the previous day's low was hit. As you can see, we can continue using the previous day's candle and how it reacted to prior highs and lows to help predict today's price action. I recommend you practice this on your demo account to build confidence and good understanding. Let's switch things up and look at some additional examples, this time focusing on the previous week's high and low. Let's start with a weekly range and mark both the high and low of that week. These levels can offer reversal opportunities. For instance, price may react at one end of the range and then aim for the other. They can also help frame a draw on liquidity. In one scenario, price moves up into a premium area, taps into an order block, and then the target becomes the prior week's low, serving as the liquidity draw. So let's check this concept on the charts. Here, we're analyzing a daily chart while paying attention to the highs and lows from the previous week. Those levels are marked and extended into the current week. As price action develops, we notice that it doesn't reach either extreme, neither the prior week's high nor its low. Instead, price remains in a range. The next week is shorter, just 4 trading days. So we'll see how price interacts around those key areas. On one of the days, price takes out the previous week's low. After that, we notice a fair value gap and price returns into the range. From there, I expect price to seek the previous week's high, and that's exactly what happens. The high is tagged on Friday. Moving into the following week, we again mark out the new weekly range. On Monday, price taps into the previous week's high but couldn't close below it. That gives me a reason to anticipate a move toward the previous day's low. Price then revisits the weekly high and also takes out the low, creating mixed signals. However, since we're consistently closing below the prior week's high, my bias shifts to the downside. And sure enough, price begins to move lower. As we move into the new week and adjust our levels accordingly, we can see that on Monday, price sweeps the previous week's low and prints a strong bullish reversal candle. This suggests a potential move toward the previous week's high. Letting things unfold, we see a retest followed by a break above the previous week's high, leading to a solid upward expansion. This is a great example of how the previous week's high and low can not only help identify potential reversal points, but also serve as effective draw-on liquidity targets. If you want more trading lessons, market insights, and live analysis, feel free to join my Telegram channel. It's completely free, and I'll leave the link in the description below. In the next section, I'll be covering swing points and the displacement failure. Using swing points, I can also identify likely areas where price might move. For instance, in an uptrend, I might spot an old high that hasn't been taken out yet. That becomes a natural target for price, helping to define the draw on liquidity. On the flip side, that same liquidity pool can serve as a reversal point if price reaches it and fails to continue. This leads into the concept of failure to displace, when price fails to push past a swing level convincingly. For example, if price approaches a swing low but doesn't break and stay below it, that suggests upward momentum may be building. Similarly, if price nears a swing high and can't break through with strength, it signals a potential downside move. This brings us to the next day model, which builds upon these principles to anticipate price direction based on previous market behavior. Now with the next day model, we use PD arrays like previous highs, previous lows, or other key levels. When price fails to break below a prior low, I anticipate the following day will likely move higher. In that case, I expect a bullish daily candle, something like an open lows high close formation. Here's a good example. Price dips below a low but fails to hold beneath it. Based on that, I'd expect the next candle to be bullish, and that's exactly how it plays out. Similarly, if price sweeps a high and then drops back into the range, I anticipate a bearish day to follow. In another case, we observe price respecting a PD array. If that level holds, I lean bullish going into the next session. Even if the candle stays within the range, the underlying bias remains, and I keep that view until price hits the targeted liquidity, like in this case, sell side liquidity just below a swing low. Let's take some real examples on the chart. Here, we're looking at the DXY on the daily time frame. We'll apply everything we've covered so far. First, notice a fair value gap sitting just below the current price action, and price seems to be drawn toward it. Now, look at how price behaves around the previous day's low. It doesn't break through it decisively. That's a sign of rejection, and it gives me reason to expect a move toward the previous day's high. So we mark that level and follow price. It reaches up, and the question becomes, can it close above? Price pushes higher again and begins forming another fair value gap. But even without that detail, what stands out is this. Price fails to close beyond the previous day's range. That signals potential weakness, and I start expecting a move downward. At this point, price moves lower, but hasn't yet reached the intended draw on liquidity. Because of that, I would expect another bearish candle to complete the move. In the following session, price does push down into the area of interest, specifically into the fair value gap. But notice how it failed to close beyond the day's range and instead pulls back inside. That gives me reason to anticipate a move upward, either toward the previous day's high or, looking more broadly, toward a near high. Eventually, price closes above that swing high. When that happens, we can expect one of two things: continued movement higher or some form of consolidation within a wider range. Then, price pulls back into the range again. That sets the stage for another potential bearish day, so I'll watch to see if it drops below the previous day's low. There's also an order block just beneath the current price action, which becomes a relevant level. This is a good setup for applying the next day model, especially since price is respecting a PD array. In this case, price touches that array, closes above it, and according to the next day model, the following candle would likely be bullish. As for the target, it could be the previous day's high or a key swing point above. On the next trading day, price moves higher but doesn't yet hit the liquidity draw. That leaves us expecting the next session to follow through and complete the move. Eventually, price does close above the targeted level, which opens the door for a move toward yet another daily high. Then we see price reach a high but close back inside the range. That signals potential weakness, so now I shift my focus to the downside, perhaps toward the previous day's low. That said, the broader trend here is upward, so I'm cautious about anticipating any major reversals. Looking closer, it's unclear whether the recent low was swept or just tapped. With no strong directional bias at this point, I simply mark the current high and low and observe which level gets breached first. Since we're still in an uptrend, the higher probability move would be a reach for that recent high. At this point, we get a clean break and close above the previous high. Now, what can we use next? We can anchor our analysis around the next significant swing point in the market. Notice how price pushes above that swing high, but fails to hold the level. It can't maintain the breakout and instead closes back within the range. From this rejection, my attention shifts to downside targets, such as the previous day's low or another nearby swing point we've already identified. Price then aggressively moves lower, breaking past an earlier low. With that taken out, I now focus on the next potential levels, either the current day's low or another swing point further down. Although we haven't yet reached that lower swing point, price continues closing below recent structure. This is where I'd zoom out a bit and look to the left for more context. What do we find? Several lows clustered together, potential liquidity resting beneath. Eventually, price makes a strong move right through those levels. This example highlights how you can use simple tools, swing highs and lows, previous day ranges, price closures, and displacement, to build a bias and form a coherent narrative. It won't play out perfectly every single day, but these concepts can guide your direction on most trading sessions. Thanks for watching. If this helped clarify how I approach daily bias and entries, please leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Wishing you a great day and see you in the next video.